Hello again, welcome back to the Football Spy Show as the drama of the transfer window continues to unfold. Today we go from the sublime to the ridiculous with more Wesley Sneijder and the continuing saga of Carlos Tevez. But let's start with our first transfer roundup. Tottenham say no talks are planned with the player, but Sky Sports are insistent this morning that Luka Modric will tell Spurs he wants out. Big call this, as the Spurs chairman Daniel Levy has already gone on record as saying that Modric will not be sold, and certainly not to Chelsea at any price. If Modric does go, then Levy's credibility, not to mention his position, really could be under threat. Lots of quotes overnight from the Porto super striker Falcao, who says that he's now ready to come and play in the Premier League with Chelsea. The Sun say that Arsenal midfielder Samir Nasri is the width of a well-smoked cigarette away from a move to Manchester City. Go to the Mirror Football website, however, and you'll see that Arsenal are not quite so willing to let Nasri go as some people may think. I like this in the Daily Mirror as well. Inter Milan admit they need to sell before they can buy this summer, opening the door for Man United to bid for the £35 million rated midfielder Wesley Sneijder. I still do think, however, United might have a problem with Schneider's wages. Apparently he wants up to £200,000 a week. The Guardian say QPR made a bid for the West Ham striker Carlton Cole. He won't be going anywhere for less than £6 million. The Sun say that Aston Villa boss Alex McLeish may make a £3 million offer for the Tottenham former Rangers defender Alan Hutton, having previously tried to sign him for Birmingham. And one last one for now, QPR boss Neil Warnock thinks Adel Taarabt will quit the Loftus Road outfit to join his friends at Arsenal. I think Warnock's had what Taarabt has been having. Time for your messages and a mixed bag today. Viper Active thinks Arsenal should break the bank for Tevez and play him up front in a 4-3-3 formation with Gervinho one side, Van Persie the other. Good idea, but sadly Wenger would never go for it, or would he? Still lots of you want to see Oh Please come back. That was the top comment on Monday's video. So what we'll do is this. You tell us what you've spotted from the week's transfer news that makes you think Oh Please. Send it to us and then we'll do a little roundup on the show. A couple of you asking about the Lille winger, or is he a wing back? Michel Bastos. He's 27. He signed for Lyon around 16 million pounds 2 years ago, and he's been linked with Chelsea, but so far there's been no movement there. Still lots of your views coming in on the Barton versus Parker debate. Remember, Joey Barton said on Twitter the other day that he feels he's a better player than West Ham's Scott Parker. The Rossi says Parker. Steve 9280 says Parker. All of you going for Parker. Nagala says Parker. EPLC43 says Parker. Murder Spike says Parker. On our Twitter feed at Football Spy, Tabinchi says Parker. The Kid Official says Barton, but Skilacci says by far Scott Parker. Now, the big overnight breaking news is that Aston Villa have turned down a £15 million bid from Liverpool for their England winger Stuart Downing. Interesting one this, as if you look at the alternatives, they're all quality without spending too much more. For example, Juan Mata, who plays for Valencia, has won the World Cup for Spain and the European Under-21 Championships very recently. Then there's Juan Vargas, who Liverpool have looked at before. He's 27, he plays for Fiorentina in Italy, got just 2 years left on his contract. He'd cost less than Downing. Marco Marin is 22. He plays for Werder Bremen in Germany. Spurs already had an approach for him dismissed this summer. He can also play as an attacking midfielder, so he's versatile as well. He's got something like 13 caps for his country. Juventus, Napoli and Roma have all looked at him. And what about Charles Nzogbia? Still only 25. He's got a year left on his contract, so he'd come cut price at around £9 million. He knows the Premier League. He's got skill, pace, and he scores goals, and he'd slot straight into the side. When you look at those players, and I'm sure all of you could suggest maybe a few more, you can see why many people feel that we pay way over the odds for English players in this country. Tell me what you think. Is Stuart Downing worth more than £15 million? Back to the Premier League, and the Spanish star Marco Senna has been speaking on his Twitter account to confirm he's rejected a move to Swansea to stay at Villarreal. He's 34, but he's still a defensive midfield force to be reckoned with. He'd have been a good signing for Swansea. Go to the Mirror Football website and you'll find details of Wes Brown's impending transfer to Sunderland from Manchester United, which is expected to move along quite considerably today. Also on the Mirror Football website, you can check out those Owen Hargreaves videos that he's put on YouTube in a bid to find a new club. The Daily Star say that the Bolton boss Owen Cole trying to use his long-standing friendship with the new Chelsea boss Andre Villas-Boas to try to get Danny Sturridge to sign on loan. All the papers reporting today that City will not let Carlos Tevez go for anything less than £50 million. Goal.com is one of many outlets reporting today that Inter Milan have signed the long-term Arsenal target, 23-year-old Ricky Alvarez. On the one hand, I could see how Arsenal fans would be unhappy with that. On the other, if he was that good, surely he would be at the Copa America. Competition time. We want you to tell us which Premier League team will sign the most players this summer. One team, one number, and of course the country you're writing in from. The shirt of your choice if you get it right, and we pick you. Hu Yin Kima is in the USA, says Sunderland with 8. Skinny Girl is in Bermuda, says Sunderland with 8. Khalid is in Kuwait, says Sunderland with 6. Lots of you saying Sunderland. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe you can tell me. Demiral is in Romania, says QPR with 5. Hasni is in Pakistan, says Liverpool with 6. Marcus Saljay is in Singapore, says City with 8. And Senior Fusions in Ireland, says Chelsea with 6. Now for today only, just to be fair to all of our tweeters out there, we're only taking entries to the competition on our Twitter page at Football Spicy. You've got to go there if you want to enter. Post your messages and your questions and your tips as usual on YouTube or Mirror Football, or even on our email spy@mirror.co.uk. But to enter the competition, go to our Twitter page at Football Spy and give us your entry there. Now, there's no Football Spy show tomorrow. The show is back with you on Friday. No show tomorrow. We're back on Friday, but we will indeed see you next time.